So David Knight joins us from the Situation Room. I'm here in the War Room at InfoWars headquarters. David Knight.
Alex, I wanted to talk about what's going on with Dinesh D'Souza. And, of course, you've mentioned this earlier. We have the article up on Infowars.com from WND, Jerome Corsi. The fact that this is raw political persecution, like we've seen before in the Soviet Union or East Germany. This is a Democratic judge ordering psychological counseling for Dinesh D'Souza and an additional to continue his community service for another 4 years. Now,
and by the way, that's super expensive.
Yes, yes. And this is a situation, Alex, where the judge has overruled the recommendations of 2 licensed psychological counselors. Okay,
and this is Reagan's former top speechwriter and a member of the administration and one of the most successful documentary filmmakers of all time.
Exactly, because he's a threat to this kind of mindless witch hunts that we see coming on right now throughout everything that touches on the South. I mean, Alex, we've even had Atticus Finch now being reinvented as a Ku Klux Klan racist, the guy who was in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Atticus that goes up against the racist.
Yes.
And everybody, he's now a racist? I didn't know that.
He's now a racist. That's the book that is now being released. Of course, the original author, Harper Lee, is now 89 years old. Her lawyer claims that she found a manuscript. A lot of people said it looks like fan fiction, so I don't know if this is authentic or not, or if this is just an effort to make a quick buck and to tap into the zeitgeist of the culture right now to go after.
Yeah, this is a race-baiting orgy.
Yes, exactly. It's absolutely insane. And, of course, we cannot have any white men who are role models, especially if they're Southern. We have to...
That's why he has to be gotten rid of. But
exactly.
This is racism against Southerners.
And listen to what the judge said, too, Alex. He says, I'm not singling out Mr. D'Souza to pick on him. A requirement for psychological counseling often comes up in my hearings in cases where I find it hard to understand why someone did what they did. What did he do? He didn't fill out some paperwork. There wasn't any criminal intent. There wasn't anything psychological about donating money to somebody's campaign. He
formed a PAC that raised $30,000 and didn't fill out the right paperwork, just like the Texas Attorney General, who's now about to be indicted.
So they nail him on a technicality, and then what they do is they try to pretend that he is psychologically disturbed somehow so they can keep their hooks into him for a long time. This is raw political manipulation, going after their political opponents, creating a crime where there is none. And yet, look at what happened in this article I talked about last Friday when I was on the radio about Eric Holder. As Matt Taibbi with Rolling Stones pointed out, he never sent anyone to jail for financial crimes, and yet we had large banks that were manipulating the LIBOR exchange. They were laundering money for drug cartels and terrorists. El Chapo, that's everybody is talking about, who just escaped from prison, he was head of the Sinaloa cartel. And they were making videos of them chopping people's heads off with chainsaws, and yet Eric Holder couldn't find anything to send this guy to jail for. Couldn't find anything to send the HSBC people who were laundering money for him. They even gave the Sinaloa cartel, El Chapo, their own private window to do cash deposits and withdrawals. That's how criminal this organization is. And Obama said some of the most damaging behavior on Wall Street, in some cases, some of the least ethical behavior on Wall Street wasn't illegal. In other words, they try to make every excuse they can. And Matt Taibbi pointed out, he said, yes, some of it wasn't illegal, but a huge amount of it was.
Here's the deal. Wachovia and Wells Fargo got caught running the drug aircraft and owning them and leasing them. And Holder now sits over the big Wall Street firm that if they certify what your bank or group is doing, never gets overturned by the Justice Department because it's the payoff door where they go in and out.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, that's the headline. Eric Holder comes in out of the cold back into Wall Street. We can put that back up on screen. Powerful photo of him walking off Air Force One for the last time. Why Eric Holder News job is an insult to the American public. Even Salon, that's connected to the White House, I don't know what they're doing telling the truth, says it's a bad thing. I mean, this is so naked that Dinesh D'Souza, no criminal record, didn't even have speeding tickets.
You know, you really nailed it, Alex, a year ago when you did the interviews with Dinesh D'Souza, one of the videos that you put up. This is the title, Dinesh D'Souza sentenced to brainwashing camp. That's precisely what this is. This is so over the top. And yet you've got Eric Holder, who made $2.5 million from this law firm representing the big banks that he refused to prosecute. They even kept his office vacant for him, Alex. He never really left their employ, did he?
Well, that's right. And to be clear, the reason I said that a year ago on July 14th, well, I mean, yesterday was the 14th. The reason I said that a year ago was because in the prison he was in, the minimum security facility that he was in, it was basically just all psychological counseling all day long. Imagine 9 months in there being basically brainwashed.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And now they're going to continue that even over the recommendations of professional counselors. Like I said, if they want to go after somebody, you know, we see this kind of like the French Revolution, the way they're going after every single vestige of symbolism, after they're going after every cultural icon. Of course, Disney for the longest time did not allow Song of the South to be sold. They said it looked like it was racist because it was about a former slave. Look, Aesop's fables were written by a former slave. The real story here is that a slave like Aesop's, a slave like Uncle Remus, and of course Uncle Remus wasn't a real person, it was a collection of multiple older slaves that this man had met on plantations when he worked on the plantations himself. He put together the stories, he told what their names were, and he told their stories.
That's a story that should be celebrated.
Exactly.
It's empowering, and they want it banned. That's what's so crazy, is that they want to be able to take down even good things because they know if they can do that, they can ban anything they want, anytime they want.
And that's what we're seeing right now. They're flushing African-American culture down the memory hole just like they are all Southern culture. And yet the real story here, Alex, as you point out, is a slave who transcends his masters. We don't know who the masters were.
Maybe we should ban the movie Spartacus because it's about a slave.
Exactly, exactly. And yet we have the Southern Poverty Law Center. Morris Deese, the founder of them, actually worked for George Wallace in the rabid segregation days. He actually defended the Klan, who were burning buses of protesters, who were beating protesters. He made enough profit off of that, it was equivalent to what the median family income of 4 was in those days. And then Morris Deese, founder of the Southern Poverty Law Center, sat out the entire civil rights movement. About a decade later, he was brought back in because he had become a mass marketing, direct marketer expert. They brought him in for the McGovern campaign. Then he took that list of people that he got from McGovern and started the Southern Poverty Law Center. If you want to get somebody who's connected to the Klan, if you want to get somebody who is rabidly racist, it's Morris Deese. It's not Atticus Finch.
And that's what's crazy is that the Democratic Party was racist, was the founder of the Klan. They couldn't beat Republicans because all these vets were coming back in the South and refusing to be part of the oppression that was indeed happening in some areas, like my dad's dad. He flipped being a Republican, ran for county government, won. The family wasn't upset with him, but he was the first person, you know, because, I mean, Texas was Democrat, to do that. But that was everywhere. They came back and they said, we're ending this. This is over. And Eisenhower led that movement. The Republicans led that movement. And then they flip it and turn around and say that the NRA is the Klan. Again, it's an inversion of reality, David.
Well, the troubling thing, too, Alex, is that, of course, the SPLC has been doing this. The Southern Poverty Law Center has been doing this for a very long time, flipping reality. But now we see this going viral, going across the entire country. It's like watching the 2 Minutes of Hate from 1984, where everybody just screams at Goldstein because they have to have an enemy. And that's what this is. This is an irrational purging. It's an ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, don't be mad at the foreign bankers looting you. Don't be mad at the fluoride in the water. Don't be mad at all the stuff happening to us. Just scream and yell and hyperventilate if you see a rebel flag, and next it's a brown bag. Stay with us. We got Tosh Plumley coming up, too. CIA whistleblower. Hey, be mad about the government shipping drugs in. And don't tell me that I'm a weirdo because I'm upset about this. I'm just sick of dishonorable trash.
Supreme Cobra Commander!
You're failures! You think I'd sell my family out like you, dirtbag? Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.